That we truly are in that moment where the Holy Spirit descends down to us at every moment. And then in every moment, the God on high says to us, "You are my beloved child, in whom I am well pleased." What if we could truly get that in every moment? That is the reality with a capital R. That as we live through our lives, we live in constant grace of that experience of the Holy Spirit revealing itself in, through, and as our lives. And what if we could every morning wake up to this song? I was thinking, I think they were going to record the song that they just played, and we'll all have it on our answering machines, and it'll be what wakes us up every morning. What do you think? Or do you think, is that good? Okay. Maybe a little too joyful for some of us, early morning. Or maybe that earlier song, that Come Holy Spirit song, which is really that call and response, that calling forth and beckoning us awake in the morning. What if? What if that opening of our space every morning is that waking up anew, allowing ourselves to feel that experience and expression of the invitation to come into our lives? In John 3, the reading earlier today, there was that mysterious encounter with Nicodemus and Jesus, where Jesus tries to explain to Nicodemus about being born anew. And he gets quite confused. He's like, how can I go back in my mother's womb? How is that possible? And so part of it was John tends to write in a style that has many layers, where there's different meanings in different ways. And part of it is Jesus was speaking in Northern Aramaic, which being born anew could be meaning born again or born from above. But Nicodemus spoke Southern Aramaic, and so for him there was confusion in that. And so oftentimes we look at that idea of being born anew, and we open up to the Holy Spirit and say, what does that mean for me? And in Northern Aramaic writings, it also means the idea of changing our thoughts, changing our habits. And so that invitation really is about waking up each and every morning and changing our thoughts, changing our way of being, and changing our habits. And is that not so hard as the idea of being born anew each day? Buddhists have a practice in some traditions of the Buddhist faith where they practice dying every day. And it's not a morbid practice of, doing some death ritual, but it's about cultivating that awareness of releasing any fear of death, releasing that part that holds and constricts to this body form we're in, to cultivate a new way of living, and to ultimately create that peace of mind within. So what if we at Canadian Memorial practiced every morning being born anew? If every morning we woke to the invitation of the Holy Spirit to look at our thoughts, look at our habits, and ask, are they working? Are they the highest and best of mine? And if each and every morning we practice like the Buddhists practice dying, we practice living and being born anew, what would that mean to the way we live and the way we treat other people? And so we change our idea, we open up to that new idea of what it means to be born anew. And I'll share just a brief quote from Ernest Holmes, who's the founder of the church that I'm ordained with. And he says this: everything is continuously being recreated. And it literally is true that the creative spirit is forever making all things new. We must permit it to make all things new for us. In the Integral Life Practice Circles that I've been hosting over at the Center for Peace, we've done a ritual, or many of us have committed to doing a ritual each and every morning. And that ritual is with 2 glasses of water. And one water symbolizes mind or spirit, and the other glass of water symbolizes body. And what we do each and every morning as the first thing that we do when we awake is we pour back and forth the water, speaking aloud, spirit, body, or mind, body. And what we're doing is we're actually vitalizing the water, bringing oxygen to that water. And then after 10 times, we actually drink the first glass of water, which symbolizes spirit, affirming that which we desire for our spirit to express that day. And then we repeat the same ritual back and forth, body, spirit, 10 times. And as we vitalize that water, we drink the water that symbolizes body, that physical part of us, and we affirm that which we desire for our bodies that day, to be strong, to be powerful, to be whatever it is we choose for our body to express that day. And so it's this beautiful ritual back and forth that allows for us to vitalize ourselves with this fresh water and to get clear on our intentions for the day. And then the second part of the ritual of the morning is we do a dedication where we get in touch with our three bodies, that physical body, the subtle energy body, and then the causal body, that I amness in which all things arise. And then we do a dedication for the day. And I'll share it with you now so that you can get a feel for the ritual of this. And so we bow in the four directions and we say this: may my consciousness and my behavior be of service to all beings in all worlds, liberating all to the suchness of this in every moment. And so as we open up to vitalizing our own body first, to giving that invitation to the Holy Spirit to reveal itself through us, and then we dedicate ourselves in our day to a practice of being a beneficial presence to the world, we allow ourselves to be the vessel for Spirit to express itself in, through, and as our lives. And so I share this with you because I know many of us have different ways that we allow the Holy Spirit to come to us and through us. For some of us, we do chanting or listen to music. For some, we do spiritual readings. If you're a Cascadian like me, one of the most wonderful places to find Spirit is in the forest. And so I'm one of those crazy ministers who actually walks through the forests of Lynn Valley singing this wonderful chant that you all did a few minutes ago, and I'm kind of skipping away, singing along, and I think, the people on the bicycles coming by me are kind of looking at me sideways. But we all have different ways of opening up to that Spirit revealing itself to us. And so the invitation to you is, how do you have a practice? How do you open up to allow yourself to be used by the Holy Spirit to reveal itself? But here we are on Trinity Sunday and the Peace and Justice Sunday, and we look at how those two things come together. And there may even be people in the room that the idea of the word Trinity or the word Holy Spirit really doesn't fit with your current beliefs or your current state of consciousness. Those terms end up being something that don't resonate anymore. But I think one of the things that many of us who've kind of transcended and moved into maybe a greater understanding of what God is and what Spirit is, in some ways, as we rebuked old terms, we got rid of also the essence of what those terms represented. That we threw away the idea that as we reach up in our consciousness and place our hand out in outstretched manner, that there is equally a hand that is being stretched out to us. Not literally the hand of God touching the hand of human, but in fact, in consciousness, as we ascend in consciousness, there is truly a container in which we touch the hand of God and experience it moving through our lives. And so I think at times we need to go back and re-embrace some of those terms that have resonance and have that essence of Spirit that comes to us and reveals through us what it would have us do in any moment as we dedicate our lives to living and being of a